Looking for a way to get healthy? The Chef You and I program has the answer. Kathryn, Raaker, and chefs from around the nation will teach even the most inexperienced how to cook. Come into their kitchen and watch them take ordinary foods with loads of calories and fat and turn those foods into healthier dishes. You will be the first to get tips and ideas on foods that are easy to prepare. Now let's join Kathryn and today's chef and learn how to make today's recipes.
Hi, this is Kathryn Raaker of The Chef You and I. Welcome to our show today. We have a really fun and interesting show. We're actually going to do everything with appetizers because this is the time of year with football and all the other things, lots of other sports. And people want something, you know, especially for parties or whatever. So we're doing some really wonderful things today. We're going to have all kinds of dips. We're going to have mini tacos with flour tortillas. We're making a cottage cheese cheesecake and lots of other things that we're going to talk about during the show. But the first thing that we need to do is make this cottage cheese cheesecake. Now this is a recipe that I got from All Recipes, and actually it's Oma's cottage cheesecake. Oma's cottage cheesecake. And I'm going to give you the ingredients to start off with. You're going to need, and I'm doubling this because they called for actually a 6-inch pan or a square pan, an 8-inch square pan, but I want this to come out really cool. So what we're going to do is doubling the recipe. So instead of 1/4 of a cup of butter, it's 1 stick of butter, 2 cups of graham cracker crumbs, 4 tablespoons of white sugar, actually 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 4 cups of cottage cheese, a cup of milk, 4 eggs, 6 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 4 tablespoons of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, and 1½ cups of white sugar, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. The first thing that we did was we preheated our oven to 325 degrees. We melted the butter, and they wanted the butter in an 8-inch square pan, but we're going to use a pan that you can, it actually comes out at the bottom, and that's what we needed. So, what we're going to do in our blender, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to blend our cottage cheese, our milk, our eggs, our flour, our lemon juice, vanilla, the sugar, teaspoon, the salt, and we're going to blend it until it is actually smooth. But before that, we're going to take our graham cracker crumbs, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 1/2 teaspoon, or 6 or 4 tablespoons of sugar, and our 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and we're going to actually pat over the bottom and onto the sides of the dish. So that's the reason what they called for this butter, because we're going to have to add that butter, right? And what we're going to do with that is we're adding all these other ingredients. So here's the graham cracker crumbs, right? And we have our, so you're going to add the 4 tablespoons of sugar, and you're going to add the 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon to this. And then this is the sugar, and here is the cinnamon. And we are going to mix this together, and then we're going to pat it down. So that's why you need that butter. You need the butter because it's going to become the crust, as you know. And what I need to do is, I think I'm going to use a little bit of spray. Can you give me that, producer, can give me that duck fat spray? All right. And we're going to use this, that'll help. And it doesn't make any difference because this goes on everything. Doesn't make a difference. It really does come out beautiful when you're done with it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm putting this into getting the crust. And the reason why we're doing it in a pan that actually comes apart, right, is that you want this to come out so it comes out and it doesn't crumble or anything else, right? But we're going to put this in the oven for an hour, all right? So I just need a little bit more of that, get it around the sides. And when we're done with this, we'll start mixing the other part of it, which is the wonderful mixture that we're going to do in the blender. So when you've got that all done, you put this aside like there, right? And then I'm going to rinse my hand off, take the glove off actually. I don't need it now. So, and then I'm going to add all these different things, and I'm going to use one of my Bravo towels here because I got a little bit too much of that butter. So here we go. We're going to add to this the cottage cheese, and this is 4 cups of cottage cheese. 4 cups of cottage cheese, and we're going to add the milk, the flour, all of it together. Milk. I don't know what's happening to me today, but dropping a lot of stuff, but that happens. So actually, we're going to add all the ingredients that we talked about. So the lemon juice, the vanilla, it's right here, the salt, and actually the sugar is right here, okay, and the eggs. You want to put the eggs. So we've got everything in there, the cottage cheese, the milk, the flour I have to put in. Here's the eggs, right? And here's the flour. Okay, get that out of there. Now, I'm going to put this on this way. It has to be a certain way for this thing to work, okay? And so we have everything in, and then we're going to pour it into the crust, all right? Now we're going to pulse it, okay? So, blend. Why isn't it, oh, power. Blend. Okay, I think it's done now. So let's take this and pour it into our crust. All right, now we're going to pour the ingredients into the crust. Hold on. There we go. Now, we're going to take this and we're going to put this in the oven for about an hour. Okay, we're going to take a break while we put it into the oven, and we'll be right back. We are back on The Chef You and I, and we're making something I love to make, and that's spinach dip in a bread bowl. And that is frozen spinach, and you get every single drop of water out of it because you don't want it to be runny, okay? But you start with a beautiful bread. This is an Italian bread, fresh, and my sweet husband cut it off for me so I could do the rest of it. He's my producer. And we're going to take all of this bread out of there, and you can use it for dipping. So, and you can cut it up as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it out, and my hands are clean, and I'm going to put this bread on here because I need to get as much as I can out of the actual bread, which becomes a bowl. And a lot of times you can do all kinds of things with these, and they're fun to do. And you can have your teenager or your husband or your boyfriend or whoever to help you do this, because this I do for parties all the time, or I used to do it for parties all the time. And I think I'll start doing it again this year with the show to start off with. And then when you finally get this all out, you're going to take and cut up those pieces of bread, or what's on the top here, right? And what you're going to do is then you can use this to dip into the dip itself. So the ingredients are 2 to 3 cups of sour cream, 1 ounce or 2 ounces of dried onion mix, 10 ounces of frozen chopped spinach, thawed and well drained. And that's really an important part of this recipe, is that it's well drained. So anyhow, we're almost done here, and then we're going to be able to mix everything and put it into the actual bowl itself. So, and this is an easy appetizer, and you'll win a lot of friends this way. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put this aside, and I'm going to cut this up in a little while. So I'm going to put this over here for a little while until we get all of the other stuff done, okay? So I need to mix all this, so I'm going to put the bread over here. I'm going to chop up some fresh basil that I'm growing, by the way, and you want to use that. And we also want to put onions in it. Now, if you don't want a lot of pieces of onion in it, you can use what I'm going to use in a few minutes. I'm going to use my little tiny food processor that I use all the time, and I love it. I love gadgets. I don't know about you, but I do, and it's too fun. We also have a half a teaspoon of oregano, dried oregano, and we have the fresh basil, and that's 2 teaspoons of fresh basil right here, okay? And I might want to get some more leaves, I'm not sure, but some people don't like a lot of basil. So let's go ahead and do that first. So what we're going to do is we're actually doing the onion, and I'm going to get my little food processor out, and we're going to use that because that gets the onion chopped up pretty well. So I love this little thing because it's so easy to use. Now we're going to cut the onion up, and we're going to put it in the blender, and we're going to get it chopped fine because I don't like chunks of onion in mine, and some people don't like chunks of onion in theirs either. So it'll taste just as good this way, okay? So you want to make sure that this is on tight, and then you want to put your onion in and turn it on. So it makes cooking a lot easier. So that's half, that would have been a small onion. So that was a half of a sweet onion, right? And take this and we'll do that. That looks good. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add all the ingredients in together in this bowl. So I'm going to put my dried oregano. I'm going to add my sour cream. That's a lot of sour cream. Right? And if you don't want that much sour cream, just, you know, do a little bit, not a lot. So here we go. We're going to mix this together. And I'm going to add the basil to it. Okay. And I'm going to add the onion mix. Now, a lot of people like more onion mix than an ounce. So I use actually about 2 ounces. So this is, I use Knorr French onion mix, and we're going to add that to it. So that's about 2 ounces, okay? And then you just mix it together. It's onion soup mix. That's French onion, and it's a Knorr. Okay, so I'm using my regular onions in here. So they called for both. So it has a really nice taste to it in the end, and your family and friends will love it. So I'm going to take this over here because we don't need that anymore. I'm going to mix this up, and you want to get it really in there nice. So you can see the spinach, you can see all of it, right? And so we're going to put this into the the bowl in just a minute as soon as I get all this mixed together. And you do want to mix it because you want all of the flavors to be in there. And then I usually, before I serve it, I put it in the refrigerator for a little while. And then you could put it into the bread bowl. Or if you're serving it right away, you can do that. But this is all cold, so I don't think we need to do that. But anyhow, but we're going to we can put this in the refrigerator for a few minutes, or we can put it aside, which I think I'm going to do, so I can show you how we cut up the bread. So let's do that. Let's put this over here, and this out of the way. It's nice to have gadgets, because sometimes they really help you to do things. So here we go. We're going to take this and put this aside, and we're going to take our bread, this bread first, and we're going to cut it off of here. And then we're going to cut it up. So I'm going to put this on a real nice platter or a dish so you can see how it's served. So, you know, we have our recipes up on our website, which is thechefuni.com. That's where you can get all of it. So let me just finish this up, and then we can use that for something else. But I also have round bread that's already cut, and we can use that as well. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this in here now. I'm going to do this. I'm going to move that aside, move this aside, and I'm going to put this in here. So you want to spread it around just like that. And you could have used another cup of sour cream. But if it's just you and your husband or just 4 of you, that seems like a lot of sour cream to me. All right. Oops. All right. There you go. And I don't know, everybody I know loves this. So see how it fits right into that bowl? And then you have that on top. Looks pretty good to me. I can't wait to taste it. But like I said, we're making a couple of dips today that you can use with crackers or vegetables. And a lot of people like veggies, right? So here you go. We're going to put this on a plate and show you. We're going to take a short break in the meantime, and we'll be right back. We're back on the Chef You and I, and we're now making my favorite ham salad, because this is a nice little, if there's people that don't like some of the things that we're making, that gives them an option. We're going to be doing meatballs, and we're going to be doing also mini tacos and stuffed mushrooms. And of course we have the cheesecake that's in the oven right now, almost done. So here's what I do. I'm going to take these wonderful cubed ham, which is all cooked, and we're going to make a ham salad. I like to make tuna salad, egg salad. I mean, you know, a lot of people want to get their protein, and this is a great way to get it. So you could do it a lot of different, you could put apples in it, you could use all kinds of things, but this is just a standard one. So here we go. I'm going to take this out of the way. And so that's about 1.5 cups of chopped ham, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to grind it up first. And this, And it makes it nice that they're already cubed. You know, you can use deviled ham too. And if you have never had deviled ham, you've got to try it. It's delicious. Anyhow, we're going to take this, and we're going to take this off of here. And we're going to put it into this bowl right here. And get all that ham. That's really good, important. So we're going to take this and put this over here. And we're now going to mix. And believe it or not, I'm putting olives in these, and it's really, really good. So here we go. We're going to put the mayonnaise in first. So I use about 2 to 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise, Miracle Whip. And I always use the light kind because there's not as many calories. And remember, we're a healthy cooking show, so we want to keep it light. And then you're going to add, now I like, and my husband likes, not dill pickle relish. He likes sweet relish. Okay? So I think it needs a little bit more mayonnaise. So I'm going to use this spoon and get out some more mayonnaise. Maybe 2. All right, so maybe 3 for as much as I made. All right, and you want it to be kind of creamy looking. And then we're going to add, like I said, the pickle relish and the olives. Now you could have tomatoes and lettuce on it, whatever you'd like, but I personally don't like to put too much pickle relish in it. So I'm going to use maybe 2 tablespoons of pickle relish because it really makes it taste great. And if you have never tasted pickle relish, you can make it yourself, you know, it's easy. But I don't mind buying it. It's a lot easier for me because when you're a busy mom or a busy with your job and all the other things and the children, you want to make it simple for yourself. So I'm going to cut up the olives and put them on the bread. So I'm not going to mix them in. I'm going to do it a little bit different. So I'm going to take my olives and I'm going to cut them and I'm going to serve them on the little sandwich. Okay? Or you can mix it up together with I may just do that. I think that's a good idea. What do you think? I'm going to throw them in there. Why not? It's going to make them look even better. And I love olives and I love pimento. And sometimes I use a lot of black olives in a lot of things that I do as well, which there's hardly any calories in black olives. So anyhow, and everybody is being conscientious about their weight and their health, you know. So this just is going to give it a little different look to it. But it's got a little, it's salty, remember. So the, you know, the mayonnaise is a little bit, it's got sugar in it or whatever. And so this is going to make, I think this is fine. So I'm going to mix this in together, like I said. And then I'm going to spoon it onto the buns. Okay? And I would serve this with, you know, one of the dips, or not even one of the dips, maybe, actually, I would serve it with potato chips or something that you like to crunch on, or just some, maybe some wonderful vegetables. Okay? So there we go. And just a little bit more. And then you just top it off, and then you put a wonderful, but I want people to see this, so I'm going to show it like that. And then you can put a wonderful toothpick in it, right? And you could make these really, these are so simple to make. And then you can, this is just for 2 people right now, for little, you know, maybe for soup and salad or soup and dinner with these little sandwiches. Or you could just have it without the bread, because a lot of people are not eating, you know, they're watching their calories right now, so it's important. So all of these recipes, will, like I said, will be up on our wonderful, and I'm going to shut these up, right? And they go like this. And now that's really pretty. And you know what? I can put some olives on there on the plate. How about that? Let's see. Do it like that. And there you go. One. And I'm going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will show you this. It's already finished, but you know what? Our cheesecake is done. So we'll be right back after these important messages. We're back on the Chef You and I, and we are making grape jelly meatballs and sauce. Actually, the gal that gave me the recipe, it's not about the pie, a fresh look at hospitality, recipes with permission from author Nikki Cornyn White. So, I had already made the meatballs. The ingredients are 1 egg, 1/2 a cup of cracker crumbs or panko, 1 pound of lean ground beef or turkey, 1/2 pound of Italian sausage, and this is optional, 12 ounces of chili sauce, 3/4 of a cup of grape jelly, or 6 ounces, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. So we're going to put our prepared meatballs into the pan, right, and let them cook, right? I'm going to do that. And these are nice sized meatballs, right? So we want to get these done. And you know, these can be leftovers, which makes it really nice. So you want to get those nice and browned. And then when we're done with this, we'll make the sauce in a pan, so when they come out, then you serve it with that. And you can keep it, you can do it in a crock pot to keep it hot if you want to. Or if this is a party, this is a great party item. We've done these before, actually, on the show with Cornyn White. And she's coming back on the show again also. So, actually, let's put these in the oven, and we're going to put these on the top shelf on the oven. I'm going to put these in the oven and let them bake. Actually, you want them to be at 350 degrees, and we've already got the oven preheated, and we'll be right back after these messages to make the sauce. We're back on the Chef You and I, and we're making Nikki Cornyn White's grape jelly meatballs and sauce. We've already got our meatballs right here, and we're going to add those into the sauce, and then you put toothpicks on them so that people can have them. So we've already done the meatballs. Now we're going to combine the chili sauce, the grape jelly, the lemon juice, and salt in a saucepan. We're going to heat up the mixture, and when the mixture is well blended and hot, we're going to add the cooked meatballs and remove them from the pan into a warmer or crock pot or into a bowl that you're going to serve with some wonderful toothpicks so people can really enjoy it. So what we need to do is we need to add the ingredients of, we need 12 ounces of chili sauce, and this is, we're going to use half of this. And we're going to add, actually, 3/4 of a cup of grape jelly. And so I have right here a cup. So we're going to put 3/4 of the cup into this cup, right? And because this is going to like melt when we do this. And I've had these before, and they're delicious, actually. So I haven't done them in a long time, but I really enjoy making them. So, and you will too, it's simple. That's about 3/4 of a cup. So we're going to put this in the pan right here. And then we're going to add the chili to it. So we need about half of the bottle of chili. So we're going to pour that in. Oh, we don't want to put too much in there. That's about half of a jar. That's about half of a jar of it. And I need to wipe it off. So, okay. And then we're going to add our lemon juice and our salt. So I need about 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. All right, 1, 2. Okay. And a little bit of salt. Not a lot. And now we're going to heat it up. And with the 360 pans, you do not want to use a high flame. We're going to stir this together, and then it'll get really, like it'll melt. So the hot and the cold, the jelly, the sweet part, makes it really tasty. You can do a honey orange glaze for your meatballs. You can use barbecue sauce. You can use all kinds of things. So you want to heat this up, and then you can pour it onto we're going to add the meatballs to it, and then we're going to put it on a platter so our guests can try them. And you can save these. That's the nice thing about it. You can save these, and so you can see it's starting to dissolve, and that's exactly what you want it to do. You want it to dissolve. I'm going to now put the meatballs in, and they didn't take long in the oven. So here we go. We're going to add those to it. And you want to get those really nice and covered with this wonderful jelly. And I haven't had grape jelly in a while, so this is going to be a treat. So, and those will heat up in this as well. And here we go. We're going to put that in there too. And there we go. They weren't hard to make. We have the full recipe for you. And you can see how nice they look in the pan even. So you want to get them, you want to reheat them. That's what you want to do. So we'll let that go for a few minutes, and then we'll put it into the wonderful bowl that we're going to use and put toothpicks in them. How about that? But we're going to leave them in the sauce. Right. So you can see the jelly. All right. So that's the reason why people leave them in a crock pot, so they stay hot. But tonight for the show, we're doing it like this. And I'm going to pour the rest of it on there. And if you didn't want hot sauce, you could use something else. So I'm going to pour the rest of it on here. And you want to get all of it on there. And then we're going to put this somewhere over here. And you're going to see this. And then I'm going to wipe this a little bit. And then we're going to show you what it's like. And see how pretty that is. So this is, and then you can take your toothpicks later on and do that. So we'll be right back. We're back on the Chef You and I, and the next appetizer that we're doing is mini tacos. And first of all, we are going to brown our meat, and I'm turning it down a little bit because with our 360 pans, you don't need the ground beef to be on high. So I am actually going to cut up with a scissors, actually, the lettuce, because I only want strips of lettuce. So we're going to do it like this, right? So it's just going to be like a little tiny bit of lettuce, not a lot. So I want them to be like that. So you can see how small they are. So it's like decorating them, right? A lot of people don't like lettuce. So it makes it look much better, more palatable when you're doing it. So I'm cutting the lettuce leaves up. And then I'm going to put the tomatoes into our little other gadget that we have that we love to use, and that cuts the tomatoes up in little squares or cubes. And I like it like that. My husband likes it differently. So, but we've got it for other things that we do on the show, so it makes it nice for us. And I've got a surprise for all of you. Very shortly, my granddaughter is going to be coming to cook with me on Thanksgiving. And we're going to be making all kinds of different things, cookies and all kinds of stuff. And she loves to cook. Now, this is getting brown. And we're going to pour the grease off of this when it's done, because actually this is probably 80% instead of 90% fat-free. So anyhow, it's about a pound of Angus ground beef. All right. And this looks great. Almost done. You don't want it to really be really dark. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit and put the top on it. And put it down a little bit there and put the top on it. It'll get brown really quick. Okay, so let's finish doing this. And we're going to make what I call mini tacos. And this is, and if you have kids over for a party, your family over, kids love tacos. So it's really nice to have that. Okay, I think that's enough. We've got enough right there. And then I've got my cheese here, and I have my salsa here. And I'll have our producer open that for me. And as soon as this meat gets actually done, I'm going to go ahead and do the tomatoes now. And that turned out really nice. I love this. It makes it so easy to do. So I'm going to put it here so you can see it, and we'll do it again. And you just put the tomato. My producer, my husband, actually cut the tomatoes for me, and then you just put those in there. And we can do all of these tomatoes, which makes it nice. And this is a nice thing. It's got all kinds of different heads to it that you can use. So it makes it really simple. I'll show it to you in just a minute. And there you go. So they're done. All right, just take those off carefully. You don't want to hurt yourself. There it goes. Okay, so then take this off, and you can see how nice those tomatoes look to put on your tacos. See that? Isn't that nice? So we're going to heat up the tacos for a minute or two, but I'm going to move this out of the way since we're done with this. And we don't like onions on our tacos, so I'm just going to leave these there. And I'm going to put the cheese over here, and then I'll put these over here. And I'm going to look at my meat to make sure it's done. We're back on the Chef You and I. I'm going to add the taco sauce, and I use packets because it's a lot easier. And I'm going to add this to the meat and heat it up. So you add it to the meat because all the spices and everything are in it, right? We took our wonderful cheesecake out, and all right, and so what you do is you actually blend this together. And I always add a little tiny bit of water to it because it just helps it to blend in with it. Not a lot, just a little. So I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. And let's see, just a little. Maybe not even that much, maybe, just to get the bottom of the pan wet. Okay? Because we don't add the grease to it. We take the grease off of it. I already turned that off. Okay. And so you want to heat this up and get this blended really well before. You don't want it to be powdery at all. So that's the reason why you have to heat it up. And then what you're going to do is we're going to put the mini taco shells or flour shells. I'm going to put them in the microwave for a minute, for like 30 seconds. And then we're going to make the tacos and show you on a plate. How about that? That's pretty easy. We've already cut up everything that we needed. So I'm just going to turn this down really low. I'm going to let it just simmer a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to open these up, and guess what? We're going to heat them up. So I'm going to do 2, I'm going to do 6. 3, 4, 5, maybe 5, 6. And then what you want to do is you can either, I'm going to put in the microwave. So I'm going to put them on a plate and you just warm them basically. Because remember they're flour tortillas. They're not corn flour tortillas. So you just want to warm them up. Okay? So let's put them in there for since there's so many, I'm going to put them in for a minute. Okay, when they get done, then I'm going to put this into a bowl. Then what we're going to do is we're going to see how hot it is. That's the way it should look. And then you can actually use this again for Taco Tuesdays, which everybody in my family loves. And so we're going to turn this off. And I'm going to add a little water to that so it's not so hard to clean. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Now these should be done. All right. I'm going to turn that off just a second. So you have everything that you need to do to put into your tacos, right? And here we go. So now I'm just going to make the tacos, and then I'm going to put them on that little platter. So you've got everything and you're ready to go, right? So easy. It's really simple. So here's my tomatoes, remember? So I'm going to actually put the tomatoes here. So, and I need our producer, he already opened it up for us. So if you want to put that on it, you can. So here we go. We're going to take the taco, or the flour tortilla. We're going to take and put the meat into it. I'm going to use a little spoon here. I'm going to put the meat into it. I think I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to move this over, right, because we want to assemble it. Right, and then I put the cheese on last. So we put the ground beef on first, right? So you want to kind of put it in the middle, right, like that. You don't want to put too much on here. That's plenty, right? And then, because you're going to fold this, right? So then you're going to add the tomatoes, right? And if people don't like tomatoes, then just put cheese. I had a taco the other day that had no, and then put a little bit of cheese on it, and then I'm going to put, guess what? The lettuce. The little pieces of lettuce that I told you that we were going to do, like that. So, now you can do them as a flat, or you can do it like this and put it like that. So one, and actually, you know, I could take and put a toothpick in them, which I'm going to do real quick, and because I don't want it to fall, and then you'll be able to see it. This is going to look so nice, and these taste so good. That's what I love about Taco Tuesday. So you want to put the tomatoes, right, and then the cheese, and then the lettuce, right? So you could do it flat, or you could do it just like I'm doing it now. And that's actually right here. So you want to do that and do it like that. We're almost finished with this. We're doing around, like I said, 6, okay? And I'm putting the actual toothpick right here. You don't want it down too far. Put that there. And one more. And you've got plenty of meat to do another whole meal. If there's just the two of you, you know, 2 tacos is probably plenty, actually. And see how easy it is to do with the tomatoes now that they're the way they are? Just a little bit of cheese. And some people don't even like cheese. So, you know, maybe they don't need it, right? And another one of these. So, but I love a little bit of lettuce because it's really nice. It gives you a, okay, so we'll do that. And make it like that. And put that here with that. There you go. So, simple, easy meal, and we'll be right back. We're back on the Chef You and I, and we're making my stuffed mushrooms. This is really simple. You're going to add, I have 8 mushrooms. I have ground sausage that we're going to actually fry in just a moment. Olive oil, onion diced, fresh basil and parsley chopped, a half a cup of Philadelphia garden or just regular cream cheese, and a half a cup of panko crumbs. A half a cup of shredded Parmesan. We have all of this on this plate, the table here. And so ground kosher salt and ground peppercorn to taste. So we already preheated the oven to 375. We've cleaned the mushroom caps. I'm going to chop these onions up right now because they're going to go into it. All right, so. And if you don't like onions, don't put too many in. So here we go. I'm going to take this off of it, and we're going to slice them like this. The next thing we're going to do actually is we're going to cook our meat, and I'm going to brown the sausage, and then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of olive oil and add the onion and all of the onions and season with salt and pepper. I'll add all of the ingredients, the fresh parsley and basil, and I'll saute it for 30 seconds more. So here we go. We're going to turn on the stove. I've already got the sausage in the pan, and we're going to get this done. All right, so this is pork sausage. You can use Italian, you can use whatever you want, but this is just ground. This is just ground sausage, okay? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the oil to it because it's sticking to the pan. So I'm going to add the oil. All right. Right. So that it won't stick. Yeah, that's much better. Turn it down a little bit. And I think I'm going to add my onions. Just a second. And we'll leave the rest of, we're not really need those. Whoops. And when this gets brown, then you're going to add all the other ingredients to it, and then you're going to stuff the onions. But you want to break your meat up because you don't want great big pieces because these mushrooms are not that big. Mixing the Philadelphia cream cheese with the meat and all the other ingredients that we put in here, okay, including the onions and everything else. And then we're going to stuff these, and then we're going to add the Parmesan cheese to all of it. And I'm going to add the cheese to it on the top, all right? That's one. Now this is a bigger mushroom, so you have more, the more you can put into it, right? 15 minutes in a 375 oven, like we've done these before, they come out perfect. You don't really need to to make any more than this. Especially if you're just, 4 of you or 2 of you. You don't want to make it so much. Okay, that's going to go in there fine. Actually, it repaired it. That's good. And then just put the cheese on it. And guess what? We're going to put these in the oven. And when we come back, they'll be done. And everything will be ready to go. We'll be right back. We are back now. And we've come to the time where I really enjoy because we get to eat it. And actually, that's a piece de resistance. These are all appetizers that you can serve your guest. And I could have done 3 more, but it took up an hour. So we have, first of all, we started with our wonderful cheese, actually cottage cheesecake. And they turned out really good. Very, very light, I have to tell you. And different than what you would, and that's a double cheesecake. So then we did actually the wonderful spinach and sour cream and onion soup dip. And then we did the wonderful tacos, small tacos, or no, we did the ham salad. Then we did the wonderful tacos, but they're mini tacos. Then we did our jelly meatballs, which turned out to be really good. And then finally what we did was our mushrooms, our stuffed mushrooms. So this is a treat for your friends and family. And do something like this for game day or Super Bowl or right before Thanksgiving. You could do something like this anytime to make it easy on the family and they can really enjoy it. We want to thank you for joining us. And don't forget to go to our website at The Chef You and I, where you can get all the recipes. And if you want to send something in, send it to kraaker123@aol.com. I want to thank our sponsors, the Hassel Cattle Company and Cornhusker's Kitchen, their gourmet duck fat spray, and their balsamic vinegar spray, which is brand new. And I want to thank our 360 pans, and that's what we cook in all the time. And not to forget our new Bravo towels, which are absolutely the best. So thank you, sponsors, for sharing your products with us. And thank you for joining me today on The Chef You and I. Go to our website at thechefyouandi.com. Bon appetit.
Thanks for joining us on the Chef You and I show today. We'll be back next week with another great and healthy recipe. Don't forget to visit our website, thechefyouandi.com, for all of our featured recipes, cooking tips, and clips of the show.